Well, good evening. I was going to play you something else, but I might have to save it. I might have to save it. Anyway, good evening. How the devil are you? Um, I've come as a woman of God. Um, we are gathered here on this very special day because Jesus loves nothing more than mutilating kids. Am I right? Um, the slicing of the breast is very much like the sacrificial lamb. Um, and we feel that taking these poor, vulnerable, confused, silly teenagers into the cult is something that the church would like to encourage. Who was that woman? Who was that woman? Should we all should we all share who she is? I tried to do my hair. I just I, I just look hideous. But this is what I look like. This is my garb if I was a clergy woman. Green velvet. That's as close as I'm ever gonna get. But anyway, let's see what this incredible woman said. So I'm gonna now ruin God for everyone. And I know I look like a creepy, creepy weirdo, but I'm just gonna do it because I am more important than God or Jesus or the American people. I'm gonna lick my lips like a snake. I look like a snake. I'm gonna lick my lips. I really hope I really hope the woman doing the sign language does a bit of this in a minute. That would be great. The illegals. Oh, you can't see what I can see. Is that what you just said? That's because I'm an idiot. I'll do it again. I'm so sorry. Okay. We can't see what you're reacting to. Well, let's start again. Let's hear the woman again. Sorry, just one moment.
Yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God, of a loving
I am as good at technology
President.
as she is at church.
Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God.
Can I just say, right, watch the tongue. Remember the serpent. Look, I have a theology degree, but I'm not remotely religious. I've never believed in God ever. I think it's quite a difficult thing for an adult to do. Actually, is believe in God. Apparently, the quickest way to believe in God is to see evidence of Satan. So I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. But anyway, watch. Like, who is it? Is it that wonderful man, David? I love the tunes. David Tennant. He does this when he plays a character in Harry Potter. Watch. That is, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm now gonna ruin everything. The lovingly God. The lovingly God who says, go on, Margaret. Take your chance.
In the name of our God, I ask you.
Is it okay if I invite Satan into church?
To have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
I mean, Jesus. On the like, if she wanted to deliver this message, there are so many ways to say it. You could say something like, um, Jesus. You could have done a whole thing about Jesus reaching out to those people who were afraid. You could have said that, like, even if you wanted to make the same points, there are ways she could have said it that weren't kind of me, 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 me. Look at me, aren't I great? Look at me. And I know this is very sexist of me, but a little bit of blusher would have not gone amiss.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in
There aren't any transgender children. There's no such thing. There's no such thing, love. There are no transgender children. May you be struck down by whatever belief system, kind of omnipotent being you believe there is.
Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
There are children whose parents want to slice off their breasts, want to cut their testicles off. They are very scared now. Those parents are very scared that they won't get to cut off the genitals of their own children. And like Jesus said, thy will slice off healthy body parts. Christians have never done that. It's never seemed to have been a Christian thing. But there is something really up with Christians, which is, I'm going to talk about this, particularly leadership. There is a weakness. There is a weakness in Christianity that means like this kind of, Eddie Izzard used to talk about this, and he was brilliant when it's like, the Church of England was never like cup of tea, cake or death. It was never like that. It's never been like the warmongering kind of Muslim faith. It's never been particularly Old Testament. I kind of wish it was. But it's always, I guess it's a bit like the left. It's always been a bit susceptible to kind of, you know, I quoted turn the other cheek the other day, and somebody was like, no, turn the other cheek is when you have power to resist and you have power just to sort of turn away, and retribution comes in a different way, right? That's apparently the reason, the thing of turn the other cheek. But I feel that most of these kind of virtue signaling Christians, including a school that one of my kids went to, these virtue signaling Christians believe that there is virtue, and I guess it's all the same thing, being seen to be virtuous, of accepting everything and promoting people that you believe or want to pretend to believe or want to be seen to be saying are vulnerable. And if Christianity doesn't hurry up and get its arse in gear and start remembering that the fundamental point of faith is not that it bends with every whim, but that you have faith in the words written that you are supposed to be following.
Some who fear for their lives.
Well, that's your bloody fault, Brenda, or whatever your name is. There are some people who fear for their lives, transgender kids who fear for their lives. Why is that? Because they've got mental parents telling them that they should fear for their lives.
And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings.
Oh, she's a bit racist, isn't she? Like those unskilled people who do all the dirty work, but like the servants. Is that what she's on about? Sounds like that's what she's on about. I don't want to say anything out of turn here, but she sounds pretty damn racist to me. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say about Christianity in general. What on earth is wrong with you? When my daughter, and I've told this story before, I'm going to tell it again. I am in the Church of the Suffragettes. Troony McTroon. If so, my daughter went to this school, and on a Thursday afternoon, she only went for like the last year, and on the Thursday afternoon, they started having, God, my earring's gonna fall out. They started having lessons by the head teacher, and it had been before. It hadn't been from the head teacher. And she said, "Oh, we have these lessons," and I'd already started talking about this stuff back then, and it must have been about 2016 and maybe 2017. I'm just trying to think how old my daughter is. Probably about 2017. And the teacher, she said, "Oh, I said today about a man in a woman's changing room, a so-called trans woman in a woman's changing room." And so I said, um, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I got told off by the teacher because I said it would be weird and he was weird. And the teacher said that's not how Christians speak and we are kind, blah, de, blah, de, blah." And so she got told off. And so I phoned the school and I was like, "What is this? What's going on? Why are you teaching these children on a Thursday afternoon?" And she lied. She lied, that Christian thing of lying. She lied and she said, Oh, and no reason. And I said, why have you told my daughter it's unkind? I said, you're basically erasing some of her boundaries, and you'll make it impossible for her to report when there's when there's a man in her changing room. She won't feel like she's able to report. And she said, um, she just sort of denied it, and I talked about safeguarding, and I was really, really cross, and I was quite cross. Anyway, she said it was nothing. There was no reason. Well, my daughter then left that school and went to a secondary school, and I was still on the email thing. So then we got a letter recommending mermaids because a little boy, don't know what his name was, say it was Oscar, was coming back as Lily or something like that. Now, that boy, what he was then doing, and it all set it out in the letter, I've got the letter, and it said that he was going to be presenting assemblies, explaining to all the children what it was like to be born in the wrong body. And for the reception class, he would go to those individual classes. Right? So this is what we're talking about. That was the Church of England. We know that the Archbishop of Canterbury, we know that some of the sort of more vocal religious people who have a nice little salary in the Church of England are silent on this issue. We know they are. We know that they're cowards. And I'm just saying, perhaps if you presented people with something that they at least thought you believed, you might get more people in your church. You just might. I'm not saying you will, you just might. Now, I'm not going to encourage anybody to go along to a church. As I said, I'm an atheist, although I do kind of feel like I've missed out on Christmas a bit this year because my kids are no longer young enough. Um, they're too old. So there's no nativity, there's no carol service, there's no Christmas. And I think we forget just how much these things are part of our Christmas tradition and part of our cultural tradition. And so anyway, so I just wanted to say that. I thought that was really important, that I just think Christianity has really lost its way on this. And it's about time some of the bishops with a lot of money, and I met one of them. I went to the House of Lords for lunch with the lovely Baroness Emma, with the lovely Baroness, um, who I now can't remember their name. I don't know what's happening to me. I am 50. Feels like I'm 107. Anyway, so I went to the House of Lords and I met a couple of the bishops in the House of Lords, and they just won't say anything. They just won't say anything about this. It's absolutely demented. Um, and nobody else will say anything about it because they're all too busy worrying about their own kind of religion. So they won't say anything either. Nicholson, thank you so much, Belfast. I feel so embarrassed. Baroness Nicholson. I was going to say Humphreys. I don't know why I was thinking Humphreys. Anyway, so I went with Baroness Nicholson. There's something else I want to talk about today. And I saw a really interesting comment from one of the women leading the American fight who said that they hadn't voted for Trump. And then I saw a comment from Sex Matters. And quite a number of years ago, must have been about 2017 again, 2018, I got a call from one of the women who was part of Sex Matters. And she basically told me that I should stop speaking about Trump, that it was bad. It was bad for the movement that I was saying that people should vote for Trump. So maybe it was 2019, whenever the kind of build up, run up started going on. So anyway, I said, no. Have you met me? I'll speak about whatever I want. And I know that sometimes I say things that people don't agree with, but I kind of have this thing that I've always said the things that I think, and to hell with the consequences. Really, that's all. Someone says, grow a pair, talk about Islam. Can I just say to you, Tom Sellers, fuck off. I've often spoken about Islam. I spoke about Islam before it was fashionable to speak about Islam. I speak about Islam all the time. So don't tell me about that. I'm just saying Christianity, which was in the presidential inauguration, the person from the representing Christianity in that bishop or whatever she was, which clearly isn't any real sort of Christianity, she was typical of what so many American churches, which I feel is just a bit of a grift. So anyway, I just want to say, I don't care. I've said since very, very long time, since my first ever live stream, I don't give a shit who likes me, who doesn't like me, who agrees with me, who doesn't agree with me. I don't care about any of that. If I cared about that, I'd have joined some WhatsApp sourdough starter group. I would never have said anything about the left. I'd have been making really funny jokes about Nazis, like I'd never really ever called anyone a Nazi. I'd just be hilarious right now. I'd be like with my bestest, famousest, most wonderful buddies, just making these wonderful jokes about, oh, everyone's a Nazi. Yes, you are one of the people that called everyone a Nazi. Anyway, I just want to say that's what happened with Sex Matters, and then that's what happened with like one of these leading women who's part of that sort of many American female feminist whatever organizations, and just sort of said, I've never voted for Trump. And I just want to do this. Like, at what point? What was it? What was it, really, that means you didn't vote for Trump? Like, he's the only American politician that had any chance on sitting in the Oval Office that said he would do something about women. He was the only politician that had any chance of sitting in that Oval Office, signing executive orders, that had never signed an executive order that cancelled women's rights. He was the only one. And then there's some women still going, well, I've never voted for him. Like, why the fuck not? What's wrong with you? What could have been more important than this? Than a politician who said he was going to put an end to mutilating children, and he was going to stop this nonsense about men can be women and women can be men. Like who are these women that then say, oh my God, I would never vote Conservative. Like, even if they said that they would protect women, I just never would do it. I have never voted for Trump. What, the man that just signed that massive executive order? You think there's any sort of pride in saying, I have never voted for Trump? I mean, he's literally the man that has just reinstated women's rights. I just it just beggars belief. And you can't then claim victory when you wouldn't have voted for the only person that was going to give us victory in this area. You just can't. And it's really bad, because I actually like lots of these women who just seem to fall at the last hurdle. I really do. I like a lot of them. They've done some great work, which it makes their cowardice so much more shameful. The reason the things that I have done have landed, have made an impact, have moved us forward, is because my arms will not be tied behind my back by any other ideology. I don't need you to think I'm a good fucking person. I don't care if you think I'm a good person. I care that in this country, there's no more knocks at the door for people who have said that a woman is an adult human female. Like, you can hate me. I really couldn't give a shit. I didn't do any of this to make friends. In fact, I've made and lost friends in these movements because so many of them are cowards. So many of them think that what I do is a piece of piss. That I should then listen to them on whatever it is that I should do. It's so, I'm going to write a book. The things that have happened to me in this movement that I've never been able to talk about. Oh my God, it will turn your hair grey. There's been very few people that I can actually stand by and say, these are genuinely good, loyal, brilliant people. I could fucking honestly, I could write a book from now to next Christmas about the bad behavior of so many people and just cowardice. Like, it just really annoys me. And also, because I am who I am, you will get people saying, even on my platform, even on like the Let Women Speak platform, I don't agree with Kellie-Jay and what she said. I just think, oh, fuck off, have your own fucking platform. Oh, anyway, but it really pains me that anyone thinks that it's still a good thing to say. The one person who said, I am going to reinstate women's rights, the one person, that there are some women that go, I would never vote for him. Well, fuck off. Fuck you. Like, fucking brilliant. Well done. Oh, I would never vote for the one thing that would really help. Well, aren't you just a fucking picnic? Really? It's so annoying. It really just really annoys me. And then obviously Sex Matters tweeting today about how they're so grateful to Trump. And I'm thinking, yeah, one of your number, just an FYI for everyone. One of them said, I'd really like to say to you that you should stop talking about Trump. Like, Jesus. I can see the YouTube live comments, Wesley. It's so nuts. Geez, it's so nuts. Look, there are many issues in America that need addressing. I don't really care about too many of them at all, actually. I care about the ones that affect women. So yeah. Oh, look at this. Melvin's mum, 2012. I don't know if that means that's how old you are or how old Melvin is, but I've been saying this since 2018, so I got in there a long time ago. Anyway, so look, that's all I want to say about that. It's just that I am right. I've been right since the beginning. I've been proven right, and I will continue to be right. And I'll tell you why I'm right. Because I'm not motivated by anything other than the truth. Right? That's what I'm motivated by. Can I just say on here as well, just in case you don't know? It says, so this is the suffragette scarf. It says, men, their rights, nothing more. Women, their rights, nothing less. Susan B. Anthony. That's one of the quotes. And then around the side, I would rather be a rebel than a slave. Emmeline Pankhurst. What draws men and women together is stronger than the brutality and tyranny which drive them apart. Millicent Fawcett. Deeds, not words. Emmeline Pankhurst. A woman must not depend on the protection of a man, but must be taught to protect herself. Susan B. Anthony. I would have girls regard themselves not as adjectives, but as nouns. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Remember the dignity of your womanhood. Do not appeal. Do not beg. Do not grovel. Pretty much live by that. Take courage. Join hands. Stand beside us. Fight with us. Christabel Pankhurst. And courage calls to courage. Millicent Fawcett. See? This is what happens when you're a genius. You make genius items with genius words from genius women, and then you wear them and you look amazing. How's that? Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say. I'm just right about it all. And it just like these women catch up, and I'm sure that eventually nobody will remember that I ever did anything. So that's fine. So there. That's all you have to care about. I can live with myself. I just know. Brandon Snyder. Look, if you live in America, I don't know, I'd recommend some sort of handgun. So there. I hide your message. Oh, Maureen. I saw a lovely little Pierre, whatever his name is, about the two genders thing. I was very happy about that. Good things coming to Canada. I think the great thing about the left, like the rabid woke left that has brought in all these policies, is that they're shit at economics as well. And so what comes along with diversity and inclusion and troonery comes a lack of ability to understand that people do give a shit if you make their groceries really expensive. So that's quite good. Anyway, I'm just someone said I wouldn't vote for Republican, even Trump, because they want to get rid of Social Security. Both parties are corrupt. Yeah, that's why you picked the fucking important thing. Like, is this too difficult for people to understand? Women had no rights in America for the last 4 years, ever since that first executive order. We all knew it. Women had no rights in America. The only way to get them back was to vote for Trump. That's the only way. If you'd voted for Kamala Harris, oh my God, can you imagine? That's the only way. Polyev, thank you. Pierre Polyev. I'm not going to lie. I think he's more easy on the eye than old Justin. But it's this thing that don't say it's really important and that you spent the last 4 years and you lost your fucking job because of it and everything. Oh, it's so important. Women's rights are so important. You must understand this. You must listen to me about this. It's so important. Oh, vote for the guy that could stop it. No, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. I won't vote for the guy who, I won't vote for the guy who's actually going to stop this stuff, but it is really important to me. Do fund the campaign that I'm running because it's really important to me, but it's not important enough to actually vote for Trump. Like, oh my life, I just can't. I just absolutely can't. It's too bonkers. I just feel like it's a fucking lie, and that it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Polyevre, someone's saying, and then someone saying Polyev. Anyway. I just Ali Snyder, you see, look at that, a real American woman. Happy to say she both voted for Trump and she has guns. So I would have been a girl in the playground. I think Peter Kay does this. You know, you got pew pew. I would have been that would have been my gun noise. Because why not? Okay. Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. Martina's got it quite bad, hasn't she? Look, whatever you're doing, can you do better than this mug? And it says, they still make them like they used to, women. Can you do better than that? I'll tell you what's really funny about this mug. Clearly, it's Marilyn Monroe. But when I brought out this mug, all the women that hate me were like, she's even brought a mug out with her face on it. I was so offended. Well, you get yourself a nice little dog mug. Because isn't that great? It's just, he just sits over here, this little dog. It's so wonderful. Okay, look, I'm going to, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you. But I just wanted to make it really clear, right? There's a reason that I'm still here talking about stuff and that things get done. And I know that I just don't get giving a shit or wanting to impress anyone that cares about me voting for someone who got the job done. I genuinely don't understand. I was trying to be that woman. I genuinely don't understand how. I just broke my soup mug. Can I just say? Someone said, "What about your soup mug?" I just broke it. I got a bit cross with the chair sticking, and I broke it. Not smashed it. I mean, I moved the table too much. Yeah, the whole reason this has worked is and like I know some people want to be able to say that I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and I just think that I just think you lack courage and honesty. That's all. And I would be right. So I am going to say to all of you beautiful people, if you can just be brave, it's not that difficult. Just be brave, speak the truth, then I promise we will win. If you... I'm going to leave you with something, actually. If you can just keep keeping truth central to everything that you do, and your conviction is very, very important, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.
Autumn days when the grass is jeweled and the silk inside a chestnut shell, jet planes meeting in the air to be refueled, all these things I love so well, so I mustn't forget. No, I mustn't forget to say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget. Clouds that look like familiar faces, and the winter's moon with frost and rings. Smell of bacon as I fasten up my laces, and the song the milkman sings. So I mustn't forget. No, I mustn't forget to say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget. Whipped up spray that is rainbow scattered, and a swallow curving in the sky. Shoes so comfy though they're worn out, and they're better than the taste of apple pie. So I mustn't forget. No, I mustn't forget to say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget. Scent of gardens when the rain's been falling, and the minnow darting down the stream. Picked up engine that's been stuttering and stalling, and the wind for my home tea. So I mustn't forget. No, I mustn't forget to say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget.